Good morning, good people. Now listen, I ain't here to sugarcoat nothing. We got to talk about something real today. And that is, you got to let go. Let go of the pain, let go of the past, let go of what's weighing you down. Because if you don't, you ain't ever going to get to where you're supposed to be. See, too many people are out here holding on to stuff that don't even serve them no more. Walking around carrying bags of regret, dragging mistakes from 10 years ago, replaying old conversations that can't be changed. You ever see somebody try to run while dragging a suitcase? It don't work. That baggage slows you down, trips you up, keeps you stuck in the same spot. Letting go of the past is one of the hardest things a person can do. It sounds simple, but when you've lived through pain, betrayal, disappointment, or failure, those memories don't just disappear. They sit in the back of your mind, creeping up at the worst times, reminding you of everything that went wrong. The problem is, the more you hold on to what happened, the more you let it define you. The past is meant to be a lesson, not a life sentence, but too many people keep replaying old chapters, hoping the ending will somehow change. It won't. People stay trapped in the past for different reasons. Some hold on because they think if they let go, it means what happened didn't matter. But that's not true. Letting go doesn't erase the experience. It just stops it from controlling your life. Others hold on because they think they need closure. They keep going over the situation, trying to figure out why things happened the way they did, waiting for an apology that may never come, hoping for an explanation that won't change anything, even if they get it. The truth is, closure isn't something you get from other people. It's something you give yourself when you decide to stop giving the past power over you. Fear is another reason people struggle to let go. When you've been hurt before, it's easy to believe that moving on means risking that pain again. So instead of stepping forward, you stay in a place that feels familiar, even if it's not good for you. You replay past failures so much that you convince yourself you're destined to fail again. You hold on to toxic relationships because at least you know what to expect. You refuse to take new opportunities because last time didn't work out. The past becomes a prison and you're the one keeping yourself locked inside. Regret is another heavy chain people carry. You wish you had done things differently, wish you had made better choices, wish you could go back and fix what went wrong. But regret is a useless emotion if it doesn't push you toward growth. Wasting time thinking about what could have been won't change a thing. The only thing you can control is what happens next. The moment you accept that, you free yourself from a cycle that has kept you stuck for too long. A lot of people hold on to anger like it's fuel. Someone did them wrong, and they think holding on to that pain is a form of justice. They think if they let go, it means they're letting the other person win. But here's the truth. That person is living their life while you're still carrying a weight that isn't yours to bear. Anger will eat you up from the inside. It will make you bitter. It will steal your joy. It will keep you from seeing the good that's still ahead of you. Forgiveness isn't about saying what they did was okay. It's about choosing to no longer let it poison your life. Sometimes the hardest thing to let go of isn't the pain, but the dream you had for how things were supposed to turn out. You had a vision of what your life was supposed to look like by now. Maybe it was the job you thought you'd have, the relationship you thought would last forever, the success you thought you'd achieve. And when it doesn't happen, it's hard to move forward because you're still holding on to that old picture of how things were supposed to be. But life doesn't work like that. Life shifts. Plans change. And the quicker you accept that, the quicker you can create a new vision. Some people hold on to the past because they think that's where their best days were. They live in nostalgia, always talking about the good old days, convinced that nothing ahead of them will ever measure up. But that's a lie you tell yourself when you're too scared to dream bigger. The best days of your life don't have to be behind you. They can be ahead of you if you're willing to let go of the past and step into what's next. Holding on to the past while trying to move forward is like trying to drive with the brakes on. You can press the gas all you want, But if you don't release what's holding you back, you won't go anywhere. Too many people are stuck in the same place, not because they aren't capable of moving forward, but because they refuse to let go of what's behind them. They say they want a better future, but their hands are still gripping old pain, old habits, old relationships, and old versions of themselves. When you carry the past with you, it weighs you down in ways you don't even realize. It clouds your judgment, keeps you from taking risks, and stops you from seeing the opportunities that are right in front of you. You may not even notice it at first, but the baggage you refuse to drop is affecting every part of your life. It shows up in the way you react to new situations, the way you interact with new people, and the way you approach new opportunity. You hesitate, you doubt yourself, you second guess every decision, all because something in your past convinced you that you weren't enough. Some people stay attached to the past because it's familiar. Even if it was painful, at least it's something they know. Stepping into the unknown is scary, so they hold on to old patterns, old relationships, and old ways of thinking because the idea of starting fresh seems overwhelming. They'd rather stay in a situation that's not serving them than face the discomfort of change. But you can't step into the life you're meant to have while clinging to the life you should have left behind. The longer you hold on, the harder it gets to move forward. You get comfortable in your misery. You start believing that this is just the way things are. You convince yourself that this is all life has to offer. So you stop trying, stop dreaming, and stop pushing for more. That's how people get stuck in the same cycle year after year, watching time pass them by while they stay in the same place. Letting go isn't easy because it requires trust. Trust that what's ahead is better than what's behind. Trust that you are capable of handling whatever comes next. Trust that the pain, disappointment, or failure you experienced wasn't the end of your story. But trust is hard when all you've known is struggle. When life has beaten you down enough times, it's easy to assume that nothing good is coming. That's why so many people stay where they are instead of reaching for something better. They don't believe better exists for them. Sometimes people hold on because they feel like they owe it to the past. They invested time, effort, and emotions into something, and walking away feels like admitting defeat. But holding on to something that isn't working isn't loyalty, it's self-sabotage. You don't owe your past anything, but you do owe it to yourself to build a future that makes sense for who you are now. Growth means outgrowing things that no longer fit you, and that's not a bad thing. It's a sign that you're evolving. People also struggle to let go because they are afraid of what others will think. They worry about disappointing family, losing friendships, or looking like they failed. But the truth is, people are going to talk regardless. If you stay stuck, they'll talk. If you move forward, they'll talk. You can't live your life based on other people's opinions because they aren't the ones who have to live with the consequences. It's also important to recognize that sometimes the past you're holding on to isn't even real anymore. You may be holding on to a version of a person who no longer exists, a relationship that was only good in your mind, or a situation that wasn't as perfect as you remember. The mind has a way of romanticizing the past, making it seem better than it really was. But nostalgia isn't a reason to stay stuck. You have to separate what was real from what you've convinced yourself was good for you. Moving forward requires making space for what's ahead. You can't grab hold of new blessings when your hands are full of old baggage. You have to be willing to release the weight that's keeping you down, even when it's uncomfortable. You have to be willing to trust that what's meant for you is ahead, not behind. Time is the one thing you can never get back. No matter how much you wish for it, no matter how many times you replay the past in your mind, no matter how much you regret what you did or didn't do, time keeps moving forward. The clock doesn't pause just because you're stuck in a moment that already happened. Life doesn't slow down just because you're holding on to something that no longer serves you. Every second spent dwelling on the past is a second that could have been used to build something better for your future. People waste years of their lives waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the right circumstances, waiting for something to change. before they allow themselves to move forward. They tell themselves they'll let go when they feel ready, when they get an apology, when they finally understand why things happened the way they did. But the truth is, waiting is just an excuse. There will never be a perfect moment to move on because growth doesn't come from comfort. Growth happens when you make a decision to stop letting the past define you and start focusing on what's ahead. The problem is, people don't realize how much time they're wasting until it's too late. They wake up one day and realize that the years have passed, that the opportunity is gone, that the relationships they neglected have faded. They look back and wonder where the time went, wishing they had done things differently. But regret doesn't change the past. It only takes away from the time you have left. Instead of using today to create something better, they spend it mourning what could have been. Fear plays a big role in why people hold on. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of stepping into the unknown. Fear of leaving behind what's familiar. But fear is a liar. It will keep you stuck in places you've outgrown. It will convince you that moving forward is dangerous, that change is something to be avoided, that the past is safer because at least you know what to expect. But comfort zones are where dreams go to die. The longer you stay in a place just because it's familiar, the more you cheat yourself out of the life you were meant to have. Making the decision to let go isn't something that happens naturally. It's not easy, it's not comfortable, and most of the time, it doesn't feel good. That's why so many people put it off. They wait for the day when it will feel right, when it won't hurt anymore, when the decision will make itself. But that day never comes. Letting go is something you have to force yourself to do because if you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Holding on is the default setting for most people, even when something is painful, even when it no longer serves them, even when they know deep down it's time to move on, they cling to what's familiar. There's a false sense of security in holding on. It gives the illusion of control, as if keeping something close will somehow make it stay the same. But the reality is, nothing stays the same. Whether you hold on or not, things change. The only difference is when you hold on, you prolong your own suffering. People convince themselves that letting go means losing something valuable, but sometimes the real loss is in staying stuck. There is a cost to holding on to things that no longer belong in your life. It costs you peace, it costs you growth, it costs you opportunities that you don't even realize you're missing because you're too focused on what's already gone. When you refuse to let go, you're not just holding on to a memory, you're holding yourself back from what could be. Forcing yourself to let go means choosing your future over your past. It means deciding that what's ahead of you. It means understanding that closure isn't something that's always given to you by others. It's something you create for yourself. You don't need an apology to move forward. You don't need to understand why things happened the way they did. You don't need permission from anyone else. All you need is the decision that you're done letting what happened yesterday control what happens today. Letting go is hard because it requires acceptance. Acceptance that some things won't go back to the way they were. Acceptance that some people aren't meant to stay in your life forever. Acceptance that some dreams won't come true in the way you imagined. But acceptance isn't the same as defeat. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're giving up. It simply means you're choosing to stop fighting a battle that isn't meant to be fought anymore. One of the biggest obstacles to letting go is the belief that you need to wait until you feel ready. But readiness is a myth. You don't wait until you feel strong to let go. You let go. And that's what makes you strong. You don't wait until you feel like moving on. You move on. And eventually the feelings catch up. Action comes before emotion. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment when it won't hurt anymore, you'll stay stuck forever. Letting go is uncomfortable because it forces you to face what you've been avoiding. It means admitting that something isn't working. It means acknowledging that you can't change the past. It means stepping into the unknown, and that's terrifying for most people. But discomfort is part of the process. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Every great change in life comes with a moment of difficulty, a moment where you have to push yourself through the pain in order to get to the other side. Some people mistake letting go for weakness, but it's actually one of the strongest things you can do. It takes strength to walk away from something that once meant everything to you. It takes courage to release the things you thought you couldn't live without. It takes resilience to say, I deserve better, even when it hurts. Strength isn't in holding on, it's in knowing when to let go. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't matter. It doesn't mean erasing the past. It simply means choosing not to let it control you anymore. It means deciding that your peace is more important than your pain. It means trusting that what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. It's not an easy choice, but it's a necessary one. Living with purpose means making a conscious decision every single day to pursue the life you truly want. It's about taking risks, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and refusing to let fear dictate your choices. Too many people go through life on autopilot, waking up every day, going through the motions, and never really feeling alive. They settle for what's familiar instead of chasing what sets their soul on fire. They let circumstances, opinions, and doubts hold them back. And before they know it, years have passed and they're still stuck in the same place. Taking risks is a part of living with purpose. You can't play it safe all the time and expect to grow. Everything worth having requires some level of risk. Whether it's starting a new business, going after a dream, or opening your heart to love again, you have to be willing to step into the unknown. Fear will try to convince you that staying where you are is safer, but safety doesn't lead to greatness. Comfort zones might feel good for a while, but nothing exciting ever happens there. Growth, success, and fulfillment all come from pushing past what's comfortable and stepping into something greater. Laughter is just as important as hard work. A life without joy isn't really living. Some people are so focused on their struggles, their responsibilities, or their failures that they forget to enjoy the journey. They take everything so seriously that they never stop to appreciate the little moments. Living with purpose means allowing yourself to experience happiness, to enjoy the process, and to embrace the good just as much as you work through the challenges. You can chase success all you want, but if you're not taking the time to actually enjoy your life, then what's the point? Love is a major part of a purpose-driven life. That doesn't just mean romantic love. It means surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, encourage you, and make you better. Too many people waste years in toxic relationships, whether it's friendships, family dynamics, or romantic partnerships, because they're afraid of being alone. But part of living with purpose is making sure the people in your life are aligned with your journey. You can't build a positive future while holding on to negative influences. Love should bring peace, not stress. It should encourage growth, not hold you back. Chasing your dreams isn't optional when you're living with purpose. Everyone has a calling, a passion, something that excites them and gives them energy. But too many people bury their dreams because they think they're unrealistic, or because life got in the way, or because someone told them they weren't good enough. Living with purpose means not letting those excuses win. It means making time for the things that set your soul on fire, even if you have to start small. It means believing in yourself even when no one else does. It means not settling for an average life when you know deep down you're capable of something greater. Excuses will always be there, but time won't. People put off their dreams because they think they have forever to chase them. They say they'll do it when the time is right, when they have more money, when they feel more prepared. But life doesn't wait. The only way to create the life you want is to start now with whatever you have, wherever you are. No one ever achieved greatness by waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. Comparison is one of the biggest killers of purpose. Too many people waste time looking at what others are doing instead of focusing on their own journey. Social media makes it worse, creating the illusion that everyone else has it all figured out. But the truth is, everyone is struggling in their own way. Everyone is figuring things out as they go. The only person you should be competing with is the version of yourself from yesterday. The only goal should be to grow, improve, and become better than you were before. Mistakes are part of the journey. Too many people are afraid to chase their dreams because they're scared of failing. But failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of success. Every successful person has failed more times than they can count. The difference is they didn't let those failures stop them. They learned, adapted, and kept going. Living with purpose means embracing the setbacks, understanding that mistakes don't define you, and using them as stepping stones towards something greater. Waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, or the right feeling is just another way of avoiding action. Living with purpose means deciding that today is the day. It means taking control of your life instead of letting life control you. It means refusing to settle for anything less than what you know you're capable of. There comes a point in life where you have to stop waiting for things to get better and start making them better yourself. Too many people sit around hoping that one day life will change. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or for someone to come along and save them. But waiting is a trap. The only way to move forward is to take action, even when you don't feel ready. The truth is, you're never going to feel completely ready. You're never going to have all the answers, but that doesn't mean you can't start. People get stuck in their own excuses. They say they don't have enough time, enough money, enough knowledge, enough support. They convince themselves that they can't start until everything is lined up perfectly. But perfection doesn't exist. There will always be something that isn't ideal. There will always be a reason to wait. But the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is that the successful ones start anyway. They work with what they have and they figure the rest out along the way. You can't let your circumstances define your future. Just because you're in a tough situation now doesn't mean you're stuck there forever. Your past doesn't dictate your potential. Where you come from doesn't determine where you're going. Too many people let their past failures, mistakes, or hardships convince them that they're not meant for more. But your story isn't over yet. As long as you're still breathing, you have the power to rewrite your future. But that only happens if you stop letting your past hold you back. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck. Fear of failure, fear of what people will think, fear of stepping into the unknown. But fear is just an illusion. It only has power over you if you let it. Every single successful person has felt fear. The difference is they didn't let it stop them. They felt the fear and moved forward anyway. Fear doesn't go away on its own. The only way to overcome it is by taking action. The more you push through your fears, the less control they have over you. Some people wait for motivation to hit before they take action. They think they need to feel inspired before they can start making changes. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. If you wait for motivation, you'll be waiting forever. The key to success isn't motivation, it's discipline. It's doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up for yourself every single day, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one is watching. Letting go of excuses means taking full responsibility for your life. It means recognizing that no one is going to do it for you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. If you want something, you have to go out and get it. You have to stop blaming other people, stop blaming your circumstances, and start focusing on what you can control. You can't control the past, but you can control your future. You can't control other people, but you can control your own actions. The moment you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility, everything changes. People waste so much time worrying about what others think. They hold themselves back because they don't want to be judged, criticized, or laughed at. But the truth is, people are going to talk no matter what you do. If you stay stuck, they'll talk. If you grow and succeed, they'll talk. So why not do what makes you happy? Why not live the life you actually want instead of living for other people's approval? The opinions of others won't pay your bills. They won't make you happy. They won't give you peace. But choosing to live on your own terms will. There's never going to be a perfect moment to start. The only moment you have is now. Too many people waste years waiting for the right time, only to realize too late that they should have started sooner. Every day you wait is a day you'll never get back. Every excuse you make is time wasted. The longer you put it off, the harder it gets. But the sooner you start, the sooner you'll see progress. It's not about having the perfect plan. It's not about knowing every step before you begin.